Good morning, dolls, and welcome to Little Gretchen's Workshop. So this is a very special episode. This is the first video of 2024, and I really wanted to share some things with you. There have been a lot of questions that I've gotten in my comments about how I got started. I mean, you all know about, me and my dad, and I gave you a little bit of my journey, but I kind of want to just go into a little detail about my journey to miniatures and what brought me here in this season of my life. So that's what today's video is going to be about. So this is how we're going to kick off 2024. I will have an upcoming video to kind of fill you in on what my plans are going forward. I have some wonderful things planned for you, dolls. But I just wanted to just touch base and just open up the year sharing this. I will kind of just give you a little hint. I think I mentioned it last year in another video, but I am preparing a giveaway, live giveaway here on Little Gretchen's Workshop. I'm working out the details. I'm not a real techie person, so there's a few little things I need to learn and understand about exactly how to do it. So I hope you dolls bear with me, but I definitely am planning to do that for you as a just giving back to how wonderful you all have been for me over the last 2 years. This is the celebration of 2 years here on YouTube, and this experience has been incredible. So let me go ahead and get to the featured video, sharing with you my journey and how I got here, and I hope you dolls enjoy it. And I just want to let you know that I'm looking forward to so many wonderful things here on YouTube with you in the upcoming year in 2024. Thank you so much for being here, dolls. Now to the featured video. So to those of you who didn't know or who are new to the channel, I was recently featured in the Miniature Gazette, June 2023. And this is just a quick recap to just bring you up to date to where I am in my miniature journey. Now, this magazine behind the one for this year was the 1977 issue, which was the one that was being distributed the year that I got my dollhouse. Now, this is a picture of me in the actual article in the Miniature Gazette, and there are several photos in here about my dollhouse journey, and me and my dad. I'm so grateful he encouraged me to pursue my art. I realized after I got older it was because he was an artist himself. His 9 to 5 was designing cars and clay for the big three, and on the weekends he did custom paint jobs for hot rods. So let me show you some of the things that I've made over the years. Now this is a quick glance of some things that I made as a child. All those things were made prior to the age 15. And as I moved on in my journey, by the time I was in high school, I loved working with clay, and I made several sculptures, and this is one of them. I'm trying to conceal her body because I don't want anyone to be offended by her nudity, but I sculpted her out of public school terracotta clay. And it was actually fired in a kiln, but I didn't glaze it. I actually did more of a patina finish with acrylic paint and shoe polish. In February 2020, my father encouraged me to get both my dollhouses out of storage after they had been there 15 years. My dollhouse had a fire many years ago, and I cover that in the original dollhouse tour, and it sustained a lot of damage. And it was covered up for many years, but I took it down to the wood to repair it correctly. And here is that very same room after I restored it. This is when my daughter and my dad started to encourage me to start a YouTube channel to share how I had done it. And here's my original dollhouse looking better than it ever had. In April of 2020, I was furloughed from my job, and that inspired me to start working on the rooming house dollhouse. It was really a mess. So upon bringing it home, I continued with the field stones with egg carton on the outside. My original concept for it was a bed and breakfast, but after being a part of a historical research group called the Hancock Diaspora in the city of Detroit, I decided to do a rooming house. You can see here from the photos, the house needed quite a bit of work. That prior to me purchasing it, it had endured over a decade of Michigan winters outdoors. So it was quite a bit of work to bring it up to dollhouse code. So I closed up doorways, had to create floors. I also used the same treatment that I use for floors to camouflage some damage to some of the walls. This turned into a really sweet challenge. I quickly realized during the restoration that bringing things back to life that had been discarded or thrown away was one of my favorite things to do. to re-envision and breathe new life into something that's been discarded. So dolls, during this restoration, I actually closed off doors and closed parts of the floor where they had staircases. So don't be afraid to modify a house to fit your current vision for it for the future. I even turned hallways into bedrooms and changed the configuration of the doorways. So dolls, I'm just allowing these images to play so you can really see and appreciate how far we've come in the rooming house, dollhouse renovation. But in reality, it'll never be complete because I don't believe in dollhouses being finished. There's always something you can do or change or update, just like a real house. Sometimes when you start, you don't know exactly where you're going. You just know you're on your way. But if you allow yourself to move forward, your imagination will lead you. There's a saying that goes, how do you eat an elephant? And the answer is one bite at a time. And although I don't eat elephants, dolls, I definitely know that big projects are done little by little. And if you just take your time and focus yourself on one small part, one small area. And also you need to allow yourself room to play for a little while so that your imagination can expand and you'll realize exactly what you need to do. And as you do one part, it'll lead you on what you want to do with another part, and it'll give you inspiration. You'll get new ideas and you'll be inspired to do things that you never did before. After working on the house for a while, I began to have a vision for who lived in the house. And the more I thought about who lived in the house, that inspired me on what else I needed to make to accommodate their lives. And one by one, the rooming house dollhouse community emerged. And with each doll that I made, I realized which other dolls I needed to make to complement these characters. And with each character I created, their relationships to the other ones and what was going on in their lives also emerged. I used to wonder what people meant when they said sometimes you just have to start because that's the hardest part. And as soon as you get past the fear of starting, and suddenly everything else begins to open up, and you're no longer afraid of failing, that suddenly failure becomes the classroom and you fail faster and forward because you finally realize that each fail takes you closer to your win. I find myself with each video trying to be a little bit better than I was yesterday or last week. And you suddenly find yourself comfortable being uncomfortable. More than anything, this has just been a wonderful space to share with people who understand why you create, why you fiddle with the smallest detail, whether it be shading or lighting or coloring or coordinating or size or scale, that you all get it, you understand, while we take the time to work on the finest, tiniest detail to make it just right for a scene or a room that's only 10 by 10 inches. Although I started this video up just trying to bring you up to speed with what got me here to YouTube, this has actually turned out to be a whole recap of the past 2 years. Dolls, I'm really excited and proud about the things I've made and how I've grown, and I'm really grateful that you've been there. And I want to say thank you. Many of you have been with me since the beginning, and you've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. You have truly ridden the wave with me. And I even appreciate those of you who haven't subscribed, but you're watching. And to all my new subscribers, I just want to say thank you for choosing Little Gretchen's Workshop and deciding to be one of my precious dolls. So dolls, I have so much more in store, so I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next episode of Little Gretchen's Workshop. Bye-bye now, dolls.